Hello and welcome here live as your Elmira Pioneers get set for a doubleheader of baseball. We got two games today as the Pioneers get set to host the Geneva Red Wings. Want to welcome in everybody on YouTube Live. I'm your host, John Clement, and we will be bringing it all to you right here on YouTube. And a big welcome in to our fans over there on Mixler.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to remind everybody that tonight's pregame show is presented by Miller's Mowing. Miller's Mowing, if your field isn't in game day shape, give them a call. They'll be able to help you out. We certainly love our great friends over there at Miller's Mowing for helping us out with getting everything started here on the pregame show before every single Pioneers home game. As the Pioneers get ready to take on a tough rival, the Geneva Red Wings have really had their number this year. Geneva, for the Pioneers heading up to Geneva, they have not found a heck of a lot of luck up there, but hopefully back here at historic Dunn Field, they'll be able to put the X's and O's together and carry themselves through to a couple of wins here today. We are going to head down to Coach's Corner in just a minute, but we do want to remind everybody once again, this is a doubleheader. The game will start promptly at 1:30. We'll play 7 innings here in the first game, and then the second game we'll see another 7 innings of play. Look to see what the Pioneers choose to do here for the lineup. The pitching will obviously be up to Coach Birch. The first pitcher tonight for the Elmira Pioneers going to be the local kid, Ben Terwilliger. 1.83 ERA, 5 games, 3 starts, 19.2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 17 bases on balls, and 29 strikeouts. So an interesting net stat line there for him. Tim Blaisdell on the other side will get the start. He's got a 2.76 ERA, has won both of his starts, also has appeared in 7 games. Talked about the 2 starts in which he has victories. 16.1 innings pitched, 18 hits, 10 runs, 5 of them earned, 5 bases on balls, and 8 strikeouts. Pioneers will have a heavy duty ahead of them if they're going to get the hits and get things going today. But as I said, we'll turn it down to head coach Matt Birch. We've got our coach's corner, this one coming from last night with the rainout. Unfortunately, with the short schedule today. Same message still applies, so we're going to take a listen to head coach Matt Birch here on Mixler.com, and we invite all of you over from YouTube to tune in on Mixler.com and check out what Coach Matt Birch has to say before the doubleheader today. All right, and there you heard it from head coach Matt Birch. Matt Birch talking about the necessity of getting things going, the hits, the pitching, all needing to finally come together. Obviously, the day in, day out, we talked about it there for a couple of minutes. Getting to play every day certainly has an impact. We'll see what the Elmira Pioneers can do if they're able to get it going and hopefully find a way to push some things together as the Pioneers face the Geneva Red Wings, who have certainly been a tough task for them this season. Managers meeting has broken up, so the Pioneers will get ready to go, and this will be another matchup between two division rivals. Geneva, obviously at the top of the conference, they played an interesting game last night with Watertown. They were losing in the top of the fifth inning, but the game was rained out due to some negative weather. So again, the weather playing a factor here early on in this season. It's been a rough one to try to do anything really. I mean, no team has been unscathed by the rain. The Pioneers have probably had the best of the schedule so far, just getting to play the majority of their games. They've only had 3 rainouts. Um, those weather games make it very difficult. You see why the teams down south, where the rain months are pretty heavy, like to play in the domes. They get the chance to make sure that they accomplish their games, and the Pioneers have not been exempt from those issues as they continue to see bad weather and poor weather impact the ability to play games. We saw just last night, not so much that it rained too hard to play, that the rain pooled up and impacted Dunfield's ability to allow the Pioneers to play in a safe and secure environment. Certainly don't want to risk the health of our athletes. And speaking of health, in between the two games, we will have a medical minute with Doc Emily Canfield. Doc has been with us both hockey and baseball, and she is always gracious enough to spend some time with me and talk about the importance of self-care and other situations that may arise during the course of the season. And I always like to get her take, especially when it comes to the health and stability of our players and, of course, our younger athletes. As we see, the Baseball Buddies program was out last night in force, and we like to try to make sure that everyone is safe and healthy and having a good time playing the sports that they love and obviously have a passion for. So, tonight, the Red Wings, and this will be the Pioneers' first game of a doubleheader against the Geneva Red Wings, as now the teams will be introduced here, and then we will get underway as once again. So Mejia, the designated hitter, will raise a cap from the dugout. As Andrew Sexton gets a round of ovation from the early afternoon crowd. Sunday afternoon baseball, always a fun time, but always interesting to see the appearance out here at Dunn Field, as we do have a decent-sized crowd here tonight as I look down and admire the beauty of the seats. The Pioneers making their way out of the dugout for today's game. Nathan Pang will head out. He will play outfield tonight. So a different looking lineup for the Pioneers as Pang moves from infield to outfield. He's also pitched a couple of times out to first base. The second baseman, Nathan Berg, will make his first start at second base. We talked about it at the pregame show last night that that may be a more comfortable position, as you heard head coach Matt Birch say there. And we'd like to remind you once again, you've been listening here to the Miller's Mowing pregame show. Miller's Mowing. If your field isn't game day ready, call them 607-302-8226 as the Elmira Pioneers get set and ready to go. Ben Terwilliger heads out to the mound, and he will start the game off here tonight. I'm going to step aside. We'll take a quick commercial break here on Mixler. For all of you listening in on YouTube Live, you're going to hear the national anthem here on Mixler.com. Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll be right back. All right, so there you hear it as the Star Spangled Banner finishes up, and you hear the call of play ball as Ben Terwilliger takes his spot out there on the mound. We'll see what the Pioneers can do against the team that holds first in the division right now. Certainly, it's been an interesting year for the Pioneers. They started off with a bit of a struggle, but have come around as of late, having that 4-game win streak. This was impressive to watch, and hopefully a sign of things to come. As you heard Matt Birch say in Coach's Corner, early on, it's about getting set and getting into these leagues in the summer, especially with the change to the wooden bats. However, he says, in July, talent wins out. So hopefully we'll see that reflected here tonight. Would certainly love to see talent start to win out and the Pioneers start to come away with some victories. We'll have to see if they're able to do just that as the season will roll on. So once again, the Pioneers getting themselves ready for a big game here with the Geneva Red Wings. Starting off and leading off, Brainy Rojas going to be up to the dish. Pioneers were able to keep him pretty quiet there back just a couple of days ago, despite really getting blown out by these Geneva Red Wings. Brainy Rojas had a difficult time getting anything to go his way. But throughout the course of the season, as a leadoff hitter, Rojas hitting .273 in 22 opportunities, including 7 bases on balls. So Rojas also in the course of the season, .267 hitter, 16 hits in 60 at-bats, 20 runs scored. So not a bad way to start as Brainy Rojas heads out to the dish. So we'll see. We talked about the downside of Ben Terwilliger. He has had some trouble keeping men off base via the walk, but the Pioneers will be looking to keep him from allowing anybody on base here tonight. Obviously, a different game plan if you're the Elmira Pioneers. The 7-inning game, when you consider the shortened game due to the double header, as Terwilliger comes set, winds, delivers, and gets Brainy Rojas on the first pitch of the game. He's hit by a pitch, and Rojas heads right down to first base. That'll bring up Trey Younger. Younger, who's up at the top of the hitters list here for Geneva. .462, 6 hits in 13 at-bats, as Rojas makes his way down to first base. Rojas appears to be okay. Terwilliger certainly firing bullets right off the get-go, but unfortunately that one just came a bit too far inside. Terwilliger comes set, checks the runner at first, winds, delivers high and inside, 1 ball, no strikes. So the inside corner has not been friendly to Ben Terwilliger so far here in this one. 1 ball, no strikes. Rojas stands on first. Terwilliger comes back set. He winds and deals. Rojas is off. High. Pitch is thrown down, and the tag is not in time. Rojas earns a stolen base with Younger with a 2-0 count now. Terwilliger steps back on the mound. Now his attention will certainly focus there on Trey Younger. Rojas stole his 8th base of the year there. Terwilliger comes back set, winds, delivers. That one is in there for his first strike of the game. 2 balls, 1 strike. As the 2-1 count. Terwilliger coming back set. He's got the sign he wants. Checks the runner back at second base. Big lead there for Rojas. And the wind and deliver. High again. 3 balls, 1 strike. Terwilliger struggling to find the zone here early. Pelted Rojas on the first pitch of the game. Now has a 3-1 count against Younger. So Trey Younger steps back in. Terwilliger checking the runner back at second. Comes set, winds, delivers, and outside. So not the start that Terwilliger was hoping for here as Brock Kaufman heads up to the dish. Kaufman with runners on base, he's 714. With runners in scoring position, the average jumps up to 833 in 6 at-bats with runners in scoring position. So Kaufman steps back up to the dish. A lot of right-handed batters out of this Geneva lineup. We'll see exactly the opposite from the Pioneers. The pitch in there, and the ball is bobbled on the transfer. Believe that's a 1 ball, no strikes. So another ball here from Terwilliger. Terwilliger now has a force at any of the bases aside from home, first, second, or third, as the runners stand on second and third. Would love to get a ground ball and turn 2 here. Terwilliger winds, he deals. That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes. So Terwilliger coming back out. As we said, do have a doubleheader here tonight, so the pitching situation going to be interesting, as we'll see how long a leash head coach Matt Birch will give his starter. As I said, pelted Brainy Rojas on the first pitch of the game, then walked Trey Younger on 5 pitches. In there, that's in there. 3 balls, no strikes. As Terwilliger will go back to work here. 3 balls, no strikes, as Kaufman stands back at the dish. Terwilliger coming back set. He winds and delivers way outside, ball 4. And Ben Terwilliger has loaded the bases without an official at-bat occurring, as the catcher will head out to have a conversation. Matt Birch heading out too. The entire infield comes in for the conversation, as Trevor Rogers will be the next man up. Rogers, with bases loaded, is 0 for 2. Did manage an RBI on a sac fly, as Matt Birch talking with his hurler. Rogers also up at the top of the batting order, 25 hits in 68 at-bats for a .368 batting average. With runners on every base, there's nowhere to put him, so you've got to figure the conversation about how to find the strike zone here. So the umpire coming out to break up the conversation on the mound. Again, the Pioneers have had a lot of trouble with Geneva this year. Geneva has really been able to take a stranglehold on the season series, and that's vaulted them into first place. So again, I will break up the huddle. Matt Birch heads back to the dugout, and Trevor Rogers will head back up. As I said, Rojas hit by a pitch. Younger and Kaufman both walked, so the first 3 batters have reached base here, as the Pioneers still looking to record out number 1. As stepping back out, Rogers steps into the plate. The windup and the pitch is in there for a strike. So just the second strike of the game for the Pioneers pitcher, Ben Terwilliger. Terwilliger coming back set on the mound. Rogers gets back in the box. Terwilliger winding and delivers. That one missed off of the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Bases are loaded. Rojas stands just 90 feet from home plate. Rogers stepping back in. Terwilliger comes set, winds and delivers. Cut on and missed by Rogers. 1 ball, 2 strike count here. So Terwilliger steps back out on the plate. Back out on the mound. As Rogers back into the box. First left-handed batter that Terwilliger has faced today. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled back. So 1 ball, 2 strike count remains. And the Pioneers still chasing that first out of the ball game. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Rogers, the extremely talented power hitter. He has done some damage against the Pioneers back up in Geneva. Terwilliger looking in. Comes back set, winds and delivers. Cut on, hit down towards first base. Scooped up there by Harmon, and he will run over and tag first, guaranteeing himself an out. But Rogers on the ground out will drive in a run. So the Pioneers now trailing 1-0 with runners at second and third. That'll bring up Thursel White. White comes up batting .261 on the year, 6 for 23, as with runners in scoring position, White is batting .250 in 8 appearances. So 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Has them in both second and third here this time, as he throws one in for a strike. Terwilliger coming through with the first pitch of the at-bat for a strike. Seems to have settled down quite a bit, as now the infield will all come in and play defensively around the diamond, right on the infield grass. Swung on, hit towards first. Trey Harmon looking in. He runs towards first and will tag Thursel White. So, after giving up a hit by pitch and 2 walks, Rogers has gone down on a ground out. Thursel White has gone down on a ground out. And Matteo Avallone will head up to the dish as the designated hitter. Avallone batting .308. He has 4 hits in 13 at-bats. With runners in scoring position and 2 men out, he has not faced that situation yet this year. So one bounced up, goes all the way to the backstop. This is going to score a second run on the pass ball as the Pioneers fall behind 2-0 here in the top of the first. Terwilliger, 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. As the Pioneers, who have yet to surrender a hit, have now allowed 2 runs to cross the plate. 1 ball, no strike count as Avallone steps back in. The windup and the pitch. Outside, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. A runner left on third base at the moment as Brock Kaufman now stands on third. 2-0 count. 2-0 the score in favor of the Geneva Red Wings. The windup and the pitch. Outside again, 3 balls, no strikes. So a rough outing so far here for Ben Terwilliger. Terwilliger looking in. He winds and delivers. Inside, ball 4 on 4 straight pitches. Avallone will head to first, and that'll bring up Cross Grundy. Grundy, on the other hand, has had runners in scoring position 11 times with 2 outs and has come through .455. So we'll see what the Pioneers can do here. Trying to make the final out of the top of the first. Grundy looking out at Terwilliger. Terwilliger staring back in, has his sign, checks the runners, winds and delivers. In there for ball 1, a little bit high. 1-0. 5 straight balls here. As Terwilliger comes back set, he looks in. The wind and the pitch. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes in a 2-0 game here. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 outs, 2 runs for the Geneva Red Wings. As Terwilliger comes back set out there on the mound, he winds and delivers outside yet again. 3 balls, no strikes. So 7 straight balls by the Pioneers hurler. Grundy standing there on the right-hand side of the plate. Terwilliger has certainly been a little bit more shy of throwing inside after almost hitting 2 batters as he walks 2 batters on 8 straight pitches. Avallone and Grundy now reload the bases as Josh Lester will head for the dish. And this is going to do it, I believe, on the day for Ben Terwilliger. So, pointing out, and I believe Nathan Pang is going to come into this game and pitch. So, Terwilliger comes out. Pang will come in to pitch, and it appears as though Jeff Mejia will move from designated hitter into playing left field. So, left field for Jeff Mejia. Nathan Pang now becomes the pitcher. And again, Pioneers will go back to work here. They are down 2-0. Haven't even had an at-bat yet. It's been a rough start for Elmira. As Pang going to start warming up out here on the mound. The wind and the pitch, as he's going to have to try to find the zone here a little bit. Little different atmosphere when you're trying to come into a game and have a pitching eye than when you're out in the field. As now Peng will go to work for his first time here. Out of playing this guerrilla baseball is the term that head coach Matt Birch gave to it. Peng's pitching numbers so far, he hasn't allowed a run, has appeared in 2 games, 4 innings pitched. He has 1 save, 3 hits, 1 run. That 1 run was not earned as he has 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. So he'll be looking to come in and provide some much needed relief for the Elmira Pioneers, as before they've even had a chance to come up to play, they have taken the designated hitter out of the game. So again, Nathan Peng getting his arm stretched out. Seems to be strong and ready to go as everybody gets themselves back to their original positions. Pioneers 1 out away from getting out of the top of the first. We want to remind everybody once again, this is a doubleheader game, so 7 innings will be the end of the game. As perfect pitch there from Peng, as that'll bring up Josh Lester. So far in this game here, no hits have been recorded. The 2 bats that connected with balls were groundouts, and each side is working to try to do their best here, having some trouble for the Pioneers as Peng comes in the first inning. The wind, the pitch, fouled back and into the fence as, again, Elmira trying to work their way back into this game, already down 2-0. So Peng comes back out on the mound. Looking. He's got the sign he wants, comes back set and delivers. That one popped up and foul into the bleacher area, hitting the top of the stands and rolling off into the parking lot. So, another chance to remind everybody to make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. Peng will head back out to the mound here. Comes back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on. Hit out there towards the shortstop. Play will be made barehanded. Thrown over to first, and Harmon makes the grab, and that will do it as the Pioneers finally get out of the first inning as Geneva puts 8 batters up before they're able to do so. We'll have to see what the Pioneers can respond with as we head towards the bottom of the first inning. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, folks, and welcome back. Heading into the bottom of the first inning, 2-0 in favor of the Geneva Red Wings, as the Red Wings have yet to record a hit, but on a hit by pitch, 4 bases on balls, and a ground ball out from Rogers would drive in the first run. A passed ball would drive in the second run. Pioneers now have some ground to make up. Of course, this is a little reminiscent of the game back just a couple of days ago as the Geneva Red Wings were able to score 2 runs in the first inning and then 8 runs in the bottom of the second back up there in Geneva. You hope that's not the case here again, as the Pioneers are going to head out and try to do their best to get this game back knotted. It'll bring up Jeff Mejia, who was originally the designated hitter here tonight. Mejia is from UMass Lowell. Certainly has been on a little bit of a tear here as of late, getting his average up there towards the top, 322 coming into the game, as he has 19 hits on 59 at-bats as he takes strike one there to start the game. So Mejia stepping back in. The wind and pitch. Cut on there by Mejia. No balls, 2 strikes. As Mejia trying to get into a groove here and get things started against Tim Blaisdell. Blaisdell winds, delivers that one outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blaisdell heads right back in. Not much of a patient pitcher there in between pitches as he throws ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Blaisdell does not like to take a long time. Some pitchers usually take a little bit longer, as Blaisdell now throws in ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here to Jeff Mejia, the first batter for the Elmira Pioneers here today. 2-0 lead for the Geneva Red Wings as the wind and the pitch. High and outside, 4 balls after getting 2 quick strikes. Mejia will work himself a walk as he heads down to first base. That'll bring up Andrew Sexton. Sexton, a junior outfielder from Xavier. He has had some good at-bats here at historic Dunfield as he hit a home run over that AJ sign out there in the right. In the last home game, that was against the Newark Pilots back on Sunday before the Pioneers left for a 4-game road trip. The wind, the pitch is in there for a strike. So just caught the outside corner as Mejia stands at first. Mejia has certainly a penchant for stealing bases, has 9 on the season already, but doesn't take a very big lead here. Cut on there by Sexton down the foul line, and that one's going to hook just a little foul. No balls, 2 strikes on the center fielder from Xavier. So stepping back on the mound is Blaisdell. Pioneers will look to engineer something here in the bottom half of the first. The wind and the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here as Sexton steps out of the box. He's getting his sign from his third base coach. As again, Sexton steps back up to the plate. The wind, the pitch, cut on and popped right back up towards me as that one goes just to the side of my booth. Could almost read the signature on the baseball at that point. That one came up and came pretty close as it bounced just to the side of the booth. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. As again, the windup and the pitch. High, outside, and off with Mejia. He is going to be tagged out. So Mejia caught stealing on the 2 ball, 2 strike count here to Andrew Sexton. Mejia did not get the jump he wanted on that one as the Pioneers now have an out against them. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As the windup and pitch to Sexton, cut on and popped right up, getting just foul. So 2 balls, 2 strikes remains the count. As the Pioneers now have nobody on base, Sexton trying to put himself into a position to get himself on base has just been kind of trying to find himself since getting here. We look at his batting average so far. He is batting just 200, 8 hits in 40 at-bats. So the windup and the pitch. Cut on there by Sexton. Driven out towards right field. And that will be caught by the right fielder. Sexton goes down 0 for 1. So that's going to bring up Brody Moore here. Brody Moore heads up, and just his second game as a member of the Elmira Pioneers. Moore's first game didn't go so well, 0 for 4. That was against the same Geneva Red Wings, so he did have a base on balls in his first at bat. The windup and the pitch in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Moore's from Auburn. He just got down from playing in the College World Series, as that one's in there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As again, Moore will go back to work. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled away, as we remind you to make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs as Brody Moore tries to keep the inning alive. The windup and the pitch inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A Tioga Down showdown. As we remind you, you too can be an all-star as Smash Mouth coming to Tioga Downs this summer. Brody Moore was hit, so he's going to head down. He was hit by a pitch, and that will bring up Preston Moore. Moore heads down to first, keeps the inning alive, as now with 2 outs in the inning, Preston Moore coming right back in. We'll see what he can do. So, Moore steps up. He's got a runner on first. 2 away as once again, Preston goes to work, cuts on it, pops it up. This one's going to get out to the center fielder. Little bit of trouble judging it, and it's over his head. The Pioneers are going to score here as Brody Moore will come around. Preston Moore on a heck of a play will get his first hit, and that will be a double and an RBI as the Pioneers shrink the lead to just 1. That ball certainly carried. You can thank the wind on that one as the center fielder thought he had a beat on it. So, some conversation here between the second base umpire and the third base coach, Matt Birch. Nathan Pang will come up. He's the pitcher as of note right now. Pang from UC Davis takes strike number 1 over the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here as Nathan Pang will look to make contact and try to drive in that runner from second. In there for strike number 2. 0-2 count here. Pioneers trying to get that other run back. No balls, 2 strikes as they stare out. Waiting on the pitch from Blaisdell. Cut on there by Pang. That's going to get down. And Preston Moore trying to hustle. He will cut around third and head for home as that ball will bounce and bring Pang to second base. So Nathan Pang ties up the ball game as he will hit a single and make it to second on the throwing error. So 1 for 1 with a single goes Nathan Pang, ends up on second, and Trey Harmon will head up. Harmon going to be looking to put the Pioneers ahead here as they tie up the game on that single by Nathan Pang, who advances to second on the throw. The windup and the pitch inside 1-0. So the Pioneers, who have tied the game, are now trying to find a way to push themselves ahead. The pitch cut on there by Harmon, popped up out there towards center field. The center fielder coming in and makes the grab. So Harmon goes down, but after 1 complete, Pioneers are tied 2-2 with the Geneva Red Wings. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, and we are back live here as Nathan Pang ready to take on the second inning and hope for a little bit more production out of the defense. As now, Daniel Sperling comes up to the dish. The windup and pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. As again, Daniel Sperling, the third baseman, batting here. The windup and the pitch from Pang, cut on and driven out there towards center field, and the catch will be made by Andrew Sexton. A beauty of a grab, and the Pioneers start off the second inning a lot better than they did the first after allowing not only one batter, but 3 straight batters to reach base before finally recording it out. Nathan Pang is going to be working a lot more quickly here, it appears. So, Pang comes back out as Brainy Rojas, who has no official at bat, was hit by the first pitch he saw. Pang winds, delivers in there, 1-0, just inside. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-2, the game is tied here in the top of the second. The wind and the pitch outside, 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out already as Sperling went down on the fly ball to center. Rojas always a tough out to get. As now the wind and the pitch from Nathan Pang. In there for ball 3. Pang didn't like that one. He certainly thought he had that one called, but we'll see. As now the Pioneers will go back to work. Rojas, who hitting at home has been a .175 hitter. He takes another walk. This time he didn't have to get hit for it, though. Certainly a threat on the bases. As that will bring up Trey Younger. Younger on the road has batted .333 as a 1-for-3 hitter. So he's only appeared in 3 at-bats on the road. Throw over on Rojas is not in time as Pang will go back to work. Ground out double play would be ideal, but Rojas certainly very speedy. Going to be hard to make that work out. As Pang looks in, has the sign, delivers, cut on and missed, 0-1 the count. Pang very controlled as he goes to work here today. Came in from left field, a little bit surprising. Didn't plan to see him in the first inning, but Ben Terwilliger really just, after he hit the leadoff batter, ran into quite a bit of trouble. As a 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out count gives us another Tioga Down showdown. As now the umpire going to make comments here. As once again, they are trying to get some explanation here because head coach Matt Birch is not happy with the calls so far from the home plate umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out count, another Tioga Down showdown. Don't forget to go and see Smash Mouth this summer. I got cut off the last time I was trying to pitch that, as that one inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. So Nathan Pang out there on the mound, trying to work his way through a top of the second. He got the first out very quickly, ended up surrendering a walk to Brainy Rojas, as now Trey Younger stands at the dish. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The next pitch, cut on and fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Pang goes back out towards the mound. Steps back in, staring down at the Red Wings second baseman. Pang checks the runner at first, and Rojas back in plenty of time, as Pang will go back out to the mound. Rojas gaining a lot of attention out there after stealing second base the last time he was on. Pang comes back set. He checks the runner at first, winds, delivers, cut on, popped up. This should be an easy play for Brody Moore, as he makes the catch. So that'll be 2 quick outs here for the Pioneers, despite the runner standing at first. As that brings up Brock Kaufman. Kaufman, again, no official at-bats here tonight. As he comes in, we'll face the right-hander. Kaufman against righties batting .250 this season. Umpire wiping off home plate. As again, Pioneers in a tie ball game, still have not allowed a hit here in the top of the second inning. Every runner has reached by way of either being hit by a pitch, being walked. Pang coming back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on right through the middle. Picked up there. Thrown to the shortstop, and an out is made. So, again, no hits made. And the Pioneers get through the top of the second. Score still tied at 2-2, Geneva and Elmira. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on Mixlr.com. All right, so Nathan Berg will be the next man up as the Pioneers go back to the batter's box. Berg, the pitcher/infielder from Xavier, swings at the first thing he sees, pops it back towards the parking lot, and again, another reminder to make the right decision, insist on Gerber collision and auto glass. So Berg will go right back to work. No balls, 1 strike count. 2-2 ball game here as Blaisdell winds and delivers. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. Second pitch just misses as now head coach Matt Birch down there on the third baseline checking over his stat sheets. Takes strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Berg. As the Pioneers trying to put themselves ahead, they have certainly struggled with Geneva thus far this season, and Berg gets hit. They're going to bring him back to the... Hold on here just a second. Berg just got hit in the arm. Hold on. I'm not... Now, head coach Matt Birch is going to come down and have a conversation here. Berg just got hit in the arm very clearly, as head coach Matt Birch is not happy. He has not been happy with the umpiring at all here today. So Berg just gets hit. And now Berg has to go back, pick up his bat. And again, Matt Birch being taken back towards the third base area. Berg, again, I'm not I'm not sure what to make of this. So Berg gets hit, has to stay at the batter's box. Is it a ball, I assume? I'm not sure. Wait to see what the umpire puts his hands up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So they call it a ball. The wind, the pitch, cut on and fouled back again. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. One more time here for the Pioneers. As Berg, who's already been hit, now dealing with Blaisdell again. The windup and the pitch. That one's inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Berg saying that one swiped him on the front. So again, Berg will sit in the batter's box. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As again, the pitch from Blaisdell. High. And now Berg will go down to first on the walk. So, a couple extra pitches thrown, but Berg still ends up on first base. That'll bring up Trevor Henneman. Henneman throwing back the batting equipment from Nathan Berg as Henneman walks up to the dish. Be the next one to face Blaisdell. Henneman only batting a .139 this year. Looks down, takes the sign from Matt Birch. Berg, known to be speedy, not sure stolen base would be in play here, but the pitch is inside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes on Trevor Henneman. Talked about Blaisdell being very effective, 2.76 ERA this year in 7 games played. Does have the 2 victories. Right now, he's in a tie game here in the bottom of the second. Cut on there by Henneman. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. As again, Nathan Berg stands on first base. Berg this year does have a stolen base to his credit. As again, Henneman coming set. The pitch is in there, cut on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So a 2-2 game here in the bottom of the second inning in a doubleheader shortened 7-inning game. As again, Henneman waits. The wind, the pitch, cut on. Hit out there towards right field. This one towards the foul line, but stays in and is fair. So the throw down to second base is going to get Berg as Henneman will go 0 for 1, reaching there on the fielder's choice. As now, that'll bring up Garrett Schultz. So, runner at first is replaced as Schultz comes up to the dish. He's batting .232 on the year. Schultz at home this year has batted a .176. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and missed by Schultz. 0-1 the count. So one no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. As the Pioneers tied up 2-2 here. Pioneers have the only 2 hits of the afternoon so far. Schultz cuts on one, hits it back foul, and over and into the parking lot area. Make the right decision. Insist on Gerber collision and auto glass. As Schultz steps back in, 0-2 the count. See what he can do here. Blaisdell comes back set on the mound, winds and delivers. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here. As we're talking about left and right, take a look at Blaisdell against righties. He has been effective in 15.1 innings. This one popped up towards foul territory. The catch will be made, and down will go Garrett Schultz, 0 for 1. That'll bring up Jeff Mejia. Mejia, no official at-bats yet. He walked and was caught stealing. As the score is still tied at 2 here in the bottom of the second inning. Mejia comes up. As again, Blaisdell against left-handed hitters has only pitched 1 full inning, has allowed a hit in 4 at-bats. So Mejia comes set. The delivery hit on by Mejia out towards center right, and the catch will be made as that falls right into the center fielder's glove. Mejia goes down, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. Pioneers after 2 tied 2-2. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, so Nathan Pang getting the last of his warm-up pitches in here. And that will bring up Trevor Rogers. Rogers coming in. As I said, he is really power hit, 368 coming into this game. As during the last 5 games, Rogers batting 389, has 7 hits and 18 at bats. So the Pioneers beginning the top of the 3rd inning here as Rogers steps back in. Pang, so far so good throughout 1 full and a third inning of relief. The wind and pitch is bounced up to the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here. Both teams scored a run in the 1st inning. Nothing as solid in the 2nd. Now here into the 3rd inning of work. Pang misses high. 2 balls, no strikes. Pang comes back set out there on the mound. Pang looking in. He's got his sign, winds and delivers. In there for a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. As Pang looking for Rogers to come back in. Rogers now set back in the batter's box on the left-hand side. Pang steps off briefly. As now he's back on the mound. Rogers has stepped out and will now step back in. A little bit of a dance here, if you will. The windup and the pitch. High and outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. As Pang still trying to find where he wants to pitch against Rogers. So, Rogers 0 for 1 today. Does have the RBI on the ground ball. 3-1 count. Cut on and missed by Rogers. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As the count goes full. So, Rogers looking out. He steps back into the plate. Looking out at Pang as Pang has his sign, comes set, rocks, and delivers. That one misses, ball 4, as that'll put Rogers on to first base to start the top of the 3rd. Brings up Thursel White. White with runners on base, batting 333, batting 333 in 12 at bats. So we'll see what White can do here. White steps back in. He's looking. Pang having to work out of the stretch here. Hasn't had to do that a heck of a lot here this afternoon as he winds and delivers. Cut on there by White. Popped up. And that one's going to head back towards foul territory and land on the roof. So another chance to remind you to make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. As once again, Nathan Pang stepping back in. No balls, 1 strike. As the windup and the pitch. In there for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. As there's nobody out. Still a runner standing on first base over there. Pang looking in. Shakes off the sign. Checks the runner over at first. Comes set. Winds and delivers. Cut on and fouled off there by Thursel White. Pang will head back to the batter's box. Back to the pitcher's mound as Thursel White heads back to the batter's box. Pang looking in. Comes back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on and fouled back into the netting by Thursel White. White keeping himself alive here. As again, Pang steps on the mound. Takes a look. Checks the runner over at first. Pang checking again. He winds and deals. Cut on and hit out there to left center field. Sexton dives, and that one's going to get by him and roll all the way to the wall. It's picked up there by the left fielder, Mejia, who tosses it in quickly. But this is going to score a run, and Trevor Rogers will come around to score as Thursel White now stands on second with a double. So, RBI for Thursel White, And a two-bagger as Matteo Avalone with a base on balls, so no official at bat as of yet. See what he can do here against the Pioneers pitcher Nathan Pang, who gives up his first run of the season. Avalone with runners in scoring position, 2 for 3, 667 on the year. The windup and pitch, cut on and fouled away. No balls, 1 strike. Nobody out yet, as White has just earned the first hit of the Geneva Red Wings evening. As again, Matteo Avalone waiting on the pitch. Pang looking in, continues to check back on White. Pitch is in there. And strike. So no balls, 2 strikes here. As again, Pang trying to make his way through here in the top of the 3rd inning. Geneva now leads 3-2. As Pang comes back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on. Right back towards Pang. He picks it up. White goes over to third and dives through, making it unable for Preston Moore to grab the ball. And not happy about that is Preston Moore. So, Thursa White dived in to break up the play and then came around to score as Pang decided to go to third instead of taking the easy out over there at first. And that will put Matteo Avalone on second base. So, run will score on the error. And again, that will bring up Cross Grundy. Grundy, who has no official at-bats, walked in his first appearance. 4-2. As a low pitch there, 1-0. So, 4-2 game here as Geneva has the lead. Pang comes back set on the mound. Looking back at the runner on second. Avalone, very small lead. The wind, the pitch. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. So a 2-0 count here as the Pioneers trying to make it through this top of the 3rd. As I said, the shorter game with the doubleheader. The windup and the pitch from Pang, cut on and fouled back. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Geneva Red Wings have now doubled their lead from 1-2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Have the 4-2 lead over Elmira. And the Pioneers will certainly have a difficult task ahead of them as Geneva's really been able to handle them well this year. Swinging strikes, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still nobody out here. So, Pang standing out there on the mound. Waits as Grundy steps back into the batter's box. Pang looking in for a sign. Has the one he wants. Checks the runner back at second. Winds and delivers. Cut on and missed. Strike 3 as Pang earns the first strikeout of the day for the Pioneers. That'll bring up Josh Lester. Lester, the catcher. Lester this season is pretty low on the Geneva Red Wings batting averages, 190. 4 hits and 21 at-bats. Pang comes set, checks the runner at second. He winds and delivers. Inside, way inside, as Pang throws ball 1. 1-0 the count here. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Geneva has only been able to achieve 1 hit tonight, as it's a 4-2 game here in the top of the 3rd inning. Pang comes back set. He winds and delivers. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. As again, Pang steps back in. He looks in, has the sign, winds and delivers. In there for a ball. So Pang heads back out to the mound again, trying to avoid putting any more runners on base. Has to deal with the catcher here as Lester looks out. Pang checks the runner at second. Winds and delivers. Bounces one in there. So ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. As again, Pang now throwing his second full inning of relief. Did have to come in for the third out of the first. He winds, delivers, bounces one up there, and that will be a walk for Josh Lester. So Lester makes it so that every single member, save for Daniel Sperling. Sperling 0 for 1 is the only member of the Geneva Red Wings to have not achieved a base on balls here this afternoon. So Sperling steps in. Force at first, second, or third base here. As Pang looks in. He checks the runner back at second. Now comes back set. Winds and delivers. In there for ball 1, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Here in the top of the third inning, Pang has already surrendered 2 runs. Comes back set on the mound, looks in. The wind and pitch. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. So, Pang wipes the sweat from his brow, looks in, trying to find a way to throw strikes here. He's had a couple that were close and he thought should have been called, but did not get the call from the umpire at home plate. The wind and pitch from Pang. Low, 3 balls, no strikes. So, next pitch has to be in the strike zone. Don't want to give up another base on balls here. As again, nobody warming down in that Elmira Pioneers bullpen here in the top of the third inning. Pang comes set. He winds and delivers. In there for ball 4, and now every member of the Geneva Red Wings has a base on balls here tonight. That'll bring back the top of the lineup, Brainy Rojas, as the catcher will head out for a chat. Rojas has yet to register an official at bat, was hit by a pitch on the first at bat of the game, and then walked in his second appearance. So we've got some activity now working around down in the bullpen. There's 1 out in the inning. As we look down, there's quickly somebody starting to warm up, trying to get a number for you at home, folks, as Pang goes to work against Brainy Rojas. Pang comes set. Bases are loaded. The wind and pitch. Cut on and missed by Rojas, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. As again, this may be Catania down there in the bullpen right now. Could be Takis as well. Can't really get a good look at the number. The wind and pitch. Cut on. Popped up there towards center field. The catch will be made by Sexton. He throws in quickly, trying to catch one of the runners, as both runners will be safe, and it's a 5-2 lead for Geneva. So the second out is made, but the Pioneers trail by 3 now. 3-run top of the third so far, as the Pioneers will have to now get through Trey Younger. Younger, 0 for 1 on the day, has walked, as we'll see what he can do here. Pang looking in. Younger in there on the right-hand side of the batter's box. The pitch cut on and popped up as Harmon trying to chase it down. That one's going to get into the seats. So, no balls, 1 strike. As again, Pioneers 1 out from getting out of this inning. Already given up 3 runs. Certainly don't want to give up any more. As Coming back set. The look in and the pitch from Peng. Cut on and grounded right down towards his first base coach. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the top of the third. Peng just 1 pitch from getting out of it. As again, Younger stands in at the batter's box. Crowd trying to get behind Nathan Peng. The wind and pitch. Cut on and missed, and Peng gets out of the inning. But not before giving up 3 runs here in the top of the third to give Geneva back the lead. It's 5-2 in favor of the Red Wings. We'll be back with the bottom of the third inning here on Mixlr.com. All right, folks, and we are back here live on YouTube Live. Sexton coming to bat. Ron Loomis heads out for the mound as Blaisdell will be done after 2 complete. Loomis, his first pitch is hit hard there by Sexton, but right towards the center fielder. So Loomis comes in and gets a very quick first out in relief. No, I'm wrong. It's still Blaisdell. Jesus. I don't know. I had the Newark Pilots freaking thing up there. Well, the umpire pointed out to the pitcher. So. All right. So once again, in there, Brody Moore as the wind and pitch. Excuse me. I had my stats wrong. Just was corrected there. It still is Blaisdell. The pitch inside. So quick 2 balls, no strikes. As Blaisdell goes back to work here in the bottom of the third. Apologize again for that, fans. Had my stats mixed up. That one cut on and fouled away. Make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. As Blaisdell goes right back to work here again. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The wind, the pitch is in there for a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. As again, the Pioneers trying to catch back up. Pitch is thrown in there for ball 4. So Brody Moore, who's been hit by a pitch and now walked, still has yet to register an official at bat. As Preston Moore comes up, Moore has doubled here tonight and driven in a run. As the Pioneers trying to get things started as they trail by 3 runs already. 5-2 the score. And again, just the 1 hit for Geneva so far. So the windup and pitch from Blaisdell. Cut on right back through the middle. It's going to get through and into the outfield. Brody Moore rounds second and heads for third, and Preston Moore will stand pat at first base. Runners at the corners with 1 out. as now that will bring up the number 5 batter, Nathan Peng, who may be in his last appearance here. We'll have to see as a pitcher continues to warm up down in the bullpen for the Elmira Pioneers. Peng heads right back out. He's 1 for 1, does have an RBI today. As with a runner 90 feet from home plate, he could very easily have another one with any ball hit to the outfield. That one fouled away. Hits the catcher right in the mask. As now we've got a no ball, 1 strike count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So, stepping back in, Peng. Trying to find a way on base here. Would love to get this inning kicked off with a bang. As the pitch in there swung on, and that will be no balls, 2 strikes, I believe, as that ball got away from the catcher. So, 0-2 count. 1 out here in the inning as Peng tries to get a run back from the top half. Blaisdell looking in. Checks the runner over at first. Throws over as feigning to run home was Brody Moore. As again, Blaisdell comes set. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out count here. The pitch. Peng cuts on it, hits it towards third base, bounces it up, throw over there to second, and Peng is not in time. Or no, he is in time. So Peng makes it in there first, and that will score a run. Umpire looked to be calling out and then changed it, so the first baseman must have dropped the ball as Peng will reach on the fielder's choice and drive in a run. For the second time here tonight, Trey Harmon will come up with a runner on first, 2 outs. He's 0 for 1 on the night as the Pioneers trying to get themselves back into the game. Inside, 1-0. So, 1 ball, no strikes. The Pioneers have scored a run as the cut is fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Now a 5-3 ball game. As again, Harmon stepping back into the dish. Harmon this season batting .310, 13 for 42 in his plate appearances. The windup and the pitch, cut on and missed by Trey Harmon. But lighthearted swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Pioneers did score 1 back. Have a runner at first. Blaisdell delivers. Harmon cuts on it, fouls it right down towards his own dugout. And the count will remain 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blaisdell steps back on the mound. Comes set. He winds, delivers, cut on and missed by Harmon. And Harmon goes down on strikes here. So after 3 full, Pioneers trail 5-3. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, so the Pioneers will go to the bullpen yet again. Tom Catania will get the next call here, as we'll see what the Pioneers can do in the top of the fourth inning. Of course, we talked about it. Time runs quickly here in a doubleheader. Almost halfway through the game here, as after the end of the seventh inning, that will do it. Pioneers trailing by 2, 5-3. Catania throws his last of his warm-up pitches. And that will start things off here as Brock Kaufman will lead things off. Kaufman, as a leadoff batter, 0 for 11. So 0 for 11 comes up Brock Kaufman. We'll see what he can do here to change that fate. As again, Catania looking in. He's got his sign. Winds and delivers. Cut on and missed. 0-1 goes Kaufman. As I've said, everybody on the Geneva Red Wings has walked here tonight at one point or another. Another pitch from Catania in there, cut on and fouled back. 0-2 the count. Catania, 6.0 ERA, does have a win in 2 appearances, just 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 bases on balls, and 2 strikeouts. Windup and pitch is fouled away yet again. No balls, 2 strike count one more time. As Brock Kaufman looking out there on the mound. He comes back set. He rocks back and begins his windup. Tossed, grounded towards the third baseman, picked up by Brody Moore, throws over to first base in time. So a quick out number 1 there for Tom Catania. That will bring up Trevor Rogers. Rogers never an easy out against Geneva. As Rogers heads out. Talked about his numbers all day long, as now Rogers, when facing a right-handed pitcher, is batting .358. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled down the first baseline. No balls, 1 strike. Catania heads right back out to the mound. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. As again, the Pioneers have 3 runs, 3 hits. The Geneva Red Wings, 5 runs on just 1 hit. The pitch in there for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. As Rogers will have to play defensively now. So Rogers stepping in. Coming set is Catania. Winds, delivers, cut on, hit out there towards right hard, and that's going to get down. That'll be Geneva's second hit of the ball game. Picked up and thrown right back in by Schultz, as that will keep Rogers to a single. That brings up Thursel White, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Does have the double. So White stepping back up. Catania going right back to work here. Has 1 out. Nobody, just the runner on first base here. The windup, the pitch is high, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. Catania coming back set. He and Noah Rubino went to high school together. Still good friends here. The wind, the pitch, cut on, grounded up the middle, picked up there by the second baseman Berg, tossed over to the shortstop, now over to first, and in time, double play. Great play there by the Pioneers to get themselves out of the top half of the inning. We head to the bottom of the fourth, 5-3 in favor of Geneva, as the Pioneers will be looking to do some damage of their own. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. Sorry about breaking in on that there, folks, as we had the commercial going, but Nathan Berg has stepped back in, so a very quick half inning break as Berg steps in and takes strike one. And now it's even back up, 1-1 as Nathan Berg, going back to work, has a base on balls here today. No official at bat. The line, the pitch, cut on, and Berg hits that one out towards left and will get in as Berg starts off the bottom of the fourth with a single. That'll bring up Trevor Henneman. Henneman 0 for 1 on a fielder's choice as he hit a high pop-up that landed just fair, and Berg did not have enough time to scramble down to second base. As again, Henneman will step back in. We'll see what Nathan Berg does over there on first base. Said it before, Berg always a threat over there, as he does have one stolen base on the year. The line, the pitch, cut on and popped up again, this time back behind second base. The catch is made, and Berg will stay put on first. So one pitch out to Trevor Henneman, as that'll bring up Garrett Schultz. Schultz, the freshman to be at Xavier. Garrett was a top 500 ranked player, 6-time all-tournament team member starting in 2014 as a 13-year-old. So again, Schultz takes ball one there as Blaisdell is out there on the mound. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. So Schultz waiting. Pitch hit out towards right field. That one's going to get down, and that will move the runners to first and second on a beauty of a rope shot there by Garrett Schultz. That'll bring up Jeff Mejia. Mejia 0 for 1. Base on balls, and he was caught stealing. So the tying run is over on first base right now, as Blaisdell working his 4th inning of work here as a starter. Pioneers have had just a little bit of an issue keeping things going, as we'll lower the camera a little bit as requested by our fans on youtube.com. The pitch in there, 0-1 the count. So no balls, 1 strike, as Elmira trying to get themselves back into this game. 5-3 ball game, as Mejia stepping back in. The windup and the pitch, cut on by Mejia, 0-2 the count. No balls, 2 strikes. As again, Mejia stands back in. He waits. As looking in, Blaisdell checks the runner at second, winds, delivers. Mejia swings, and that one is fouled away right into the glove as the second out of the inning is made. That'll bring up Andrew Sexton. Sexton has had some success here at Dunn Field. Hit a home run over that AJ's Power Sports sign back on Sunday. So we'll see what Sexton can do here. Just trying to straighten out the camera for you folks. As there we go. I think we've got it set a little bit better now, as that is in there. So on the both runners advance. Not sure what the signal was. Sorry about that. I was adjusting the camera as perhaps a balk was called. So go back to work. 0-0 the count. So the wind and the pitch in there for a ball. I believe that will make it 1-0. Yes, 1 ball, no strikes. So the wind and the pitch from Blaisdell. Cut on there by Sexton down the third base line and just foul. As 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out count here. Pioneers have runners in scoring position, second and third. The tying run sits on second base. Sexton stepping back in. He waits as Blaisdell comes set, winds, delivers inside, and the fake throw down to third. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs as Sexton waits up at home plate. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and hit towards right center field. This is going back and back against the wall. It's going to tie the game. Sexton rounding second, heading for third, and he is going to get in there safely. A triple by Andrew Sexton as the Elmira Pioneers tie the ball game. So 2 RBIs for the Elmira Pioneers to tie it back up at 5 apiece. And now the go-ahead run sits 90 feet from home plate. That'll bring up Brody Moore as Moore steps in. Still has yet to register an official at bat. Was hit by a pitch and walked in his 2 previous appearances. The windup, the pitch inside yet again. 1 ball, no strikes. Catcher heading out to chat with his hurler as Lester trying to make sure he doesn't throw one back behind him. If he does, that'll score Sexton for sure. Sexton showing off his speed a little bit there, getting around for that triple. Outfield wall, hard to make plays off of here at historic Dunn Field. So again, Brody Moore stepping in, looking for a big hit here. The wind and pitch from Blaisdell in there for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 count as the Pioneers have tied the game 5-5. The pitch cut on and hit down the line. This is going to get foul as that will get into the Pioneers bullpen. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pioneers have tied the game. It's a 5-5 game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and hit down the first baseline. Again, another foul ball just getting into the foul area. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Downs showdown. Don't forget, you can now stay where you play. Tioga Downs' beautiful new hotel and resort. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled back yet again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 more time. As Blaisdell will go back to the mound. Brody Moore talking with the home plate umpire before he steps back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1 more time. Blaisdell rocks, delivers, bounces one up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As the next pitch will be decisive. Blaisdell heads back for the mound. A hit here could drive in the go-ahead run. Cut on, hit towards the shortstop, snagged down. Brody Moore rushing to first, but he's not going to make it in time. The Pioneers will not be able to score as Brody Moore goes 0 for 1, but they tie up the game 5-5 after 4 complete. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, and with that, we are back here live as the Pioneers have tied up the ball game. Got a 5-5 game here heading into the top of inning number 5. Again, the shortened game due to the doubleheader that will be played here today. gotta put your best effort out there in the first one. Definitely want to get a victory, as the Pioneers now will play the top of the 5th inning. Once again, still out there on the mound, Tom Catania. Catania, who played a heck of a top half of the 4th, putting up a 0. See if he can pitch another spectacular half of the inning here in the 5th. The windup here from Catania. Cut on and hit towards right field, as Matteo Avallone will reach base for just the second hit of the night for the Geneva Red Wings. Cross Grundy 0 for 1, walked and struck out. As now with a runner on first base. Going to have to see what the Pioneers can do, trying to put another 0 up on the board. Just got the game tied back up. The windup and the pitch. Outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes here, as Catania trying to work his way back through another half inning. Catania checks the runner over at first. Another large lead there from Avallone. The wind and pitch is low and away. 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. As Catania heads back out for the mound. He looks in. Checking for the sign. Has the one he wants. Winds and delivers. Cut on and missed. 2 balls, 1 strike. As Cross Grundy looking to put that ball a long way from home plate. So Catania coming back set. Checks the runner over at first. He winds and delivers. Bunt is laid down towards the first base side. Picked up by Catania. Thrown over, and the sack bunt works to perfection. Moves the runner over to second base as Grundy goes 0 for 2. And that will bring up Josh Lester. Lester 0 for 1 with the base on balls. Has the runner over there at second base now. Lester comes in once again, as he's, as we said before, was batting a .190 coming into this game. Just 4 hits on the season, now in 22 at-bats. There is a runner in scoring position, however, as the pitch comes in. Cut on and missed by Lester. No balls, 1 strike. Lester, with runners on base, batting .273. With runners in scoring position, just .250. So Catania coming back set. He's got the 0-1 count. Winds and delivers. Cut on and fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. Catania takes the ball back and heads back for the mound. No balls, 2 strikes as he tries to work his way through the top of the 5th. Pioneers tied up with Geneva 5-5, scoring 2 runs back in the bottom of the 4th. So Catania coming back set. He's got his sign, checks the runner back at second base, winds and delivers. In there for a strike, and that will do it for Josh Lester. Lester goes down on strikes, and that brings up Daniel Sperling. Sperling comes up batting 0 for 1, has walked, as Catania 1 out away from getting out of the 5th inning. Somebody warming up once again down in the Pioneers bullpen. So guessing this will be the last half inning for Tom Catania. Catania comes set. He winds and delivers. Low, 1-0. 1 ball, no strike count. As again, Elmira trying to make their way through the top half of the 5th inning here. Catania checks back on the runner at second base. He winds and delivers. Cut on, hit out there towards right field. Backing up is Schultz, and it's over his head. Gonna hit off the wall. That'll score a run and put Geneva back ahead 6-5. And the quick throw in by Schultz will keep the runner at second base. Sperling goes 1 for 2 with the double and the RBI. So that'll bring up Brainy Rojas. Rojas 0 for 1 on the night, was hit by a pitch and walked, has stolen a base. Catania trying to get that final out of the 5th inning here. 6-5 lead for the Geneva Red Wings. as they score on that one. Red Wings have accumulated a few more hits here now. The wind, the pitch, inside on Rojas, but no, the umpire says it caught the inside corner. No balls, one strike, despite Rojas's best attempt to sell that one. So, Catania standing back out on the mound. Rojas does line himself up very deep in the batter's box. The wind up, the pitch, cut on and fouled away. No balls, two strikes. So the Pioneers trailing by just one here in the top of the fifth, as Catania trying to put a claim on this inning, having given up one run, would love to shut the door right here against Rojas. No balls, two strikes, two outs. Catania comes set, he winds, delivers, inside, one ball, two strikes. Catania takes the ball back and will head back out for the mound. Standing out on the rubber, he looks in, waiting for the sign. Got the one he likes, checks the runner back at second. The wind and pitch, cut on, hit out there towards left field, and just foul, as Rojas will stay put at home plate. One ball, two strikes, as that will send Sperling back to second base. So, Rojas stepping back up. Rojas, one of a few batters who could have beaten out a bunt for a single, but didn't try that at the moment. Now with two strikes, that's probably off the table, but you never know. Could see it as the pitch is in and high for ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Downs showdown. So we remind you, Tioga Downs is a great place to eat. You can head on down and try the buffet any day of the week. As again, Catania coming back set. He checks the runner, winds and delivers. Bounces one past his catcher, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and that one gets back to the backstop. That will move the runner over to third base. And now the Red Wings have a runner 90 feet from home as Rojas trying to add another tally to the board in a 6-5 ball game. Catania back out there on the mound. He waits. Now looking in. Rojas waiting at the dish. Catania looks straight at the runner at third. Now winds, delivers in there for ball 4. So apparently just missed the zone there. And Rojas will walk for the second time tonight, bringing up Trey Younger. You would assume Rojas will not stay put very long, as you would imagine the Red Wings would want a attempted throw down to second base to try to catch Rojas to try to move the runner home. So the wind, the pitch, there goes the runner, thrown down to second, and that will score the runner. So perfectly executed there by Geneva. You could see the writing on the wall on that one, as that will make it a 7-5 ball game. As soon as the throw left Henneman's hand, you have to think he knew exactly what was coming. So a 1-0 count. 1 ball, no strikes. 7-5 here as Catania now deals with another runner in scoring position. The next pitch, cut on, grounded back towards the pitcher's mound. Shortstop will grab it up, throw over to first is not in time, and the Pioneers will stay in the field just a little bit longer. So, perfect hit by Younger, as that will move the runner over to third. Runners at the corners, Brock Kaufman 0 for 2 with a base on balls. And the Pioneers manager coming out. And he's going to go have a quick conversation with the home plate umpire, as the catcher heads out to have a conversation with Catania. Head coach, again, speaking with the home plate umpire, not happy about something. Does have a pitcher working rounds down in the bullpen. See if Catania is going to stay in this game or come out. Birch still talking with the home plate umpire. Has yet to make it out to the mound. So not sure if we're going to see a substitution here or not. But Birch having a conversation once again with the home plate umpire. He's talked with him quite a bit here today. As now Catania, standing out there on the mound, Matt Birch comes to have a conversation. The Pioneers 1 out away from getting out of this top of the 5th inning. They do trail by 2 here, 7-5, as the Red Wings put up a 2-spot so far. Just need one final out to get out of this inning and get back up into the batter's box. Unfortunately for the Pioneers, being the home team today, they have come from behind every time. Need to find a way to get themselves back ahead as we're running out of outs. So, Catania will go back to work. No balls, no strikes, 2 outs. As coming up now is Brock Kaufman. Kaufman 0 for 2 on the day. So, Catania steps onto the mound. Checks over on the runner. He waits. Winds and deals. High, 1-0. So, again, Trey Younger now looking like he's going to try to steal second. We called it there on Rojas. We'll see if a similar situation occurs. As Younger goes back to first base. As Catania not waiting to find out. 1 ball, no strikes. Catania heads back to the mound. Checks the runner over at first. Comes set. Winds and delivers. Cut on and fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, Pioneers trying to get to the bottom. As Catania looking back around. Checks the runner over at first and comes set. Throws over again. His move to first base, very widely advertised as he turns his whole body before he makes the throw. He turns, sets, and then throws. So not a very deceiving pickoff move, as that one is thrown up. 2 balls, 1 strike. Right back to the left-handed side batter's box. Catania, very worried about that runner on first. Needs to get the out at home and get out of this inning. 7-5 lead for the Geneva Red Wings. Throw back over again as Catania comes back onto the mound. Steps onto the rubber. Now looks in to get his sign. Checks the runner at first again. Winds and deals. Cut on and miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Down showdown. As Catania checking on all the runners. First, third. Now comes back focused on home plate. 2 strikes. Just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. He winds and delivers. Cut on. Popped up there towards left center. That's going to get down in between all the outfielders and the shortstop. That'll score another run. So Geneva goes up 8-5 as Kaufman singles. And that brings up Trevor Rogers. So 3-run top of the 5th here. As Catania trying to get out of this inning. He has struggled here in the later parts of the 5th. Rogers steps back in. Score now 8-5 as Rogers steps in. Catania getting set. He winds and delivers. Low, 1-0. So again, Pioneers do have someone warming down in that bullpen. This would be the 4th pitcher of the day, As Catania checks the runner at first. He comes set, winds, delivers to home, and 2-0 the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Rogers steps right back in. Catania still fighting here in the 5th inning. It has been run, no run, run, no run, run for the Geneva Red Wings here in the game today. The first half of a doubleheader, they lead 8-5. 2 outs to go, 2 outs made here in the top of the 5th inning. Catania looking at both runners, now comes back set. He looks in, gets a sign from his catcher, throws over to first, and again, very advertised move over to first base. So a runner standing on first, a runner standing on third, and the big hitter, Trevor Rogers, standing at the dish. Thrown on the inside corner, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, another tag-down showdown. As Catania, 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Said that a couple times already here, but looking for that final strike. As again, the wind and the pitch cut on right towards the second baseman. Berg scoops it up but bobbles it, and that's going to score a run. 9-5 as Catania heads back for the mound. Thursel White will be the next one up, as I believe that will be qualified as a hit. No, that's going to be an error on the second baseman. So, reached on an error did Trevor Rogers, and Thursel White now comes up 1 for 3. He's doubled and worked his way into a double play as Catania sets back up. Now runners at first and second. The throw is in and outside for a 1-0 count. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Thursel White stepping right back in. As now Catania setting, delivering, cut on, hit out there towards the center fielder, and Sexton plays it perfectly, finally getting the Pioneers out of the inning. It took a while to get there, but the Pioneers will come back to the dish. Now trailing 9-5 as Elmira heads back for the plate. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, so as we head back for the bottom of the 5th inning, Pioneers trailing by 4, and they're going to have a lot of work to do here. As now coming to the dish, Preston Moore. Moore 2 for 2, doubled and had an RBI. As a leadoff hitter, however, Preston Moore comes in and he hits one right away. This one going out towards the center fielder and perfectly played. Can of corn. As Preston Moore goes down 2 for 3 on the day. That'll bring up a new hitter. I would assume it'll be a pinch hitter, as I don't think we'll see Catania stay in the game. That will bring up Kyle Richardson. Richardson comes in for his first at-bat of the game. So Richardson steps in. See how many pitches he takes from Blaisdell. Very quick out already, as that's inside on Richardson. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Richardson stepping back in. That is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out already made in the inning. Has the pitch. Outside. 3 balls, no strikes. 1 out. As once again, the pitch. Inside, ball 4. So Richardson heads down to first base. As that'll bring up Trey Harmon. Harmon, 0 for 2 on the day, has struck out. Blaisdell has had his number here today. As now we'll see what Harmon can do. Harmon stepping right back in here in the bottom of the 5th. 9-5 lead for the Geneva Red Wings. The windup and the pitch. Cut on by Harmon. Sent right back into the netting behind home plate. So, bottom of the 5th. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out to Trey Harmon, the hard-hitting first baseman. Richardson stands on first base. The wind and the pitch. High, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A Tioga Down showdown. To remind you, for all your table and slot needs, head on down to Tioga Downs, just a 20-minute drive from Elmira. The wind and the pitch, cut on and popped up, back behind the shortstop, retreating, still backtracking and making the catch. That'll send Richardson back to first base. So that'll bring up Nathan Berg. Berg, 1 for 1, did have a walk back in the first appearance of the game. See what he can do now. Berg was a quarterback for 3 years, as well as earning 2 letters in ice hockey in high school. So, the windup, the pitch, high, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. As Berg goes back to work. 1-0 the count. The windup, the pitch, in there for ball 2, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Pioneers quickly running out of outs. Only 7 defensive outs remaining. As Berg waits, the windup and the pitch, inside, 3 balls, no strikes. So, Berg waiting. As again, the windup and the pitch, inside, and ball 4. So, Berg heads down for his second walk of the day. That will bring up Trevor Henneman. Henneman, 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice. Pioneers trailing 9-5. They're going to call time. We may see a substitution here. We are getting a brand new pitcher, I believe. As we'll see what the Geneva skipper does. He does take the ball, and that will signal in, easy for me to say, as the relief pitcher heads for the mound, waiting to get the number here. As again, trying to get a look, can't quite read the number yet. 28, I believe. Is that Kobe Puncher, the Elmira Heights native? I believe it is. Wait till he spins around again. I believe it's going to be Kobe Puncher. Hold on. Wait a second. As best I can tell, that's number 28, Kobe Punchard, who goes to Brockport, an Elmira Heights native. Nope. It is 26, so it's going to be Tim Geisel. Geisel, 5.25 ERA, 1-0, 8 games, 12 innings pitched, 12 hits, 9 runs, 7 of those runs earned, 10 bases on balls, and 9 strikeouts. So Geisel enters the game. And again, the Pioneers will have a new pitcher to deal with. Hope to see what Trevor Henneman can do against him. Henneman not had a great start to tonight's game. 0 for 2 as he comes out. Geisel throwing the last couple of his warm-up pitches here. As again, Geisel winds, delivers, and should be coming about to the end of his warm-up pitches. Runners on first and second for the Pioneers with 2 outs, as they will have a tough time of it here, as Geneva's bullpen has been beyond solid. So that will bring up Henneman. If Henneman can reach, it will get Garrett Schultz online. So Henneman heading for the dish. Runners at first and second. Pioneers trailing by 4. As Henneman heads out for first base. Henneman comes set. As now Geisel will be the first reliever out of the Geneva pen here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. So Geisel looking in. Henneman waits. The pitch. Outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. As the Pioneers trying to bring themselves back into this game after giving up 4 runs in the top of the 5th. Henneman waiting on the pitch. The windup is bounced up to home plate. 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes from Geisel. As Henneman heads back out to the plate. Be looking for something he can handle. Has had a real tough outing here today. Geisel looks back at second base. Comes set, winds and delivers. Cut on there, driven through the second and third baseman, as that will load the bases. As Henneman hits a single there, and that will put the bases full for Garrett Schultz. Schultz 1 for 2 on the day. Schultz, with the bases loaded today, has gone 0 for 3 here on the season. Does have a couple of RBIs, but no hits for him with the bases loaded. He'll be coming up with something definitely in mind that he's looking to swing at. Schultz, a very disciplined hitter, we've learned very early on. Wind is in there on the outside corner. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs as the Pioneers trying to put anything on the board here again. Schultz waiting. Geisel looking in. Waiting is Schultz. The wind, the pitch. Cut on down the third baseline, just narrowly missing the runner over at third base. And now with an 0-2 count, Schultz is going to have to be a little bit more defensive. Hopefully, Kyle Richardson won't have to limbo out of the way of any more foul balls. But the Pioneers desperate to try to put a run across the board here. Bases are loaded. This situation has not worked out great for the Pioneers early in the season. The pitch is high and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Schultz steps back in. He looks out as Geisel takes a peek in. Has his sign, comes back set. The wind and the pitch. Cut on by Schultz. Fouled back and over our broadcasting area here. 1 ball, 2 strike count again. As this will be another opportunity for Garrett Schultz. Schultz waiting as Geisel comes back set. Bottom of the 5th inning. Pioneers trailing by 4. The windup and the pitch. Low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Down showdown as Schultz looking for a chance to put the ball in play. Would love to put something out to about the fence if he could. Bring in all 3 runners from on base as he cuts. Swings one out towards center field. Going back and making the catch is Brainy Rojas, and that will do it for the Pioneers half of the 5th inning. After 5 complete, Pioneers trail 9-5 here on Mixler.com. Stay with us for the top of the 6th. All right, so Matt Busher makes his way into the ball game here today. Busher, 27 ERA, no wins, one loss, 3 games, 1 start, 4.1 innings pitched, 11 hits, 14 runs, 13 earned, 8 bases on balls, 6 strikeouts. So, going to be a interesting matchup here as Busher goes to work. He's going to have to try to put a 0 up on the board, and that has not been an easy task for the Pioneers here tonight, as right now a 9-5 lead in the top of the 6th inning for Matt Busher. That'll bring up Matteo Avallone. Avallone, 1 for 2 on the night, does have the base on balls. The windup and pitch from Busher. In there for a strike, 0-1 the count. So the Pioneers trying to make their way through another half inning. Busher winds and deals. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. As again, we're here about the 3:30 hour. Pioneers will have a second game starting. Scheduled start is 4:05. That one is thrown down. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sure, they'll grant a little bit of a break before the second game starts. But once again, the Pioneers trailing 9-5 to the Geneva Red Wings. As that one taken for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. 2-2 count as Busher looking for his first out of the inning. The wind and pitch. Cut on and missed as Busher earns a strikeout right out of the gate. So, that'll bring up Cross Grundy. Grundy has gone 0 for 2 today. Base on balls, a strikeout, and a sac bunt. As Grundy steps up to the plate. 9-5 lead for the Geneva Red Wings. The windup and the pitch. Outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes on Grundy as Matt Busher goes back to work. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike went out. Our first Tioga Down showdown of the half inning. I remind you to check out the Tioga Downs Summer Concert Series. Jump on their website and find out about all the great acts coming this summer. The next pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Busher 1 strike away from the second out of the inning. Busher comes set. He looks in. Grundy waiting at the dish. The windup and pitch. Went for it and is tagged out. That will be the second strikeout of the half inning. So, Josh Lester will be the next man up. Lester 0 for 2, bases on balls, and a strikeout on the night. Matt Busher making quick work of the Geneva Red Wings' bottom portion of the order. The windup and the pitch. In there for strike 1, 0-1 on the outside corner. Busher waiting. Has his sign. Winds and deals. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As Busher trying to keep the inning moving. Comes set, winds and delivers. Swung on and fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Busher now 1 strike away from getting out of the top half of the 6th inning. As Busher comes back set. Looking in. He winds and deals. In there for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Down showdown. As Busher 1 strike away from getting out of the top of the 6th. Crowd trying to get behind Busher. The windup and the pitch. Low. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Very important next pitch coming here. As Busher stands on the mound. Looking in, he winds and delivers. Outside, ball 4. So Busher will walk the third man he faces in the inning. Lester heads down to first, and Daniel Sperling, who comes up with a walk and a double, will be the next man to greet the new pitcher, Matt Busher. Sperling stepping back in. Pioneers just trying to get back to the dish and get an opportunity to get this game tighter. They only have 6 offensive outs remaining. The windup and the pitch. High 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes for the Pioneers. 9-5 ball game. As again, Busher checks the runner at first. Comes back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on and hit towards the third baseman. Jumping and making the grab. A beauty, Preston Moore, as he will get the Pioneers out of the inning. With that, Pioneers trailing 9-5. We're heading for the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, and with that, the Pioneers will head back to home plate and try to work their way back in the game. Once again, they'll have to contend with Tim Geisel. Geisel remains on the mound, trying to pitch his second inning of relief, and he'll contend with the top of the Pioneers order. Jeff Mejia comes up 0 for 2, base on balls, strikeout, caught stealing. See what he can do here in his 4th trip to the plate. Mejia stepping in against Geisel. First time he'll have faced him tonight. As the Pioneers continue to trail here, 9-5. The windup and the pitch from Geisel. In there for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. As again, the windup and the pitch. Cut on and hit towards right center. That's going to get down as Mejia will make it to first base. And again, Mejia leads things off and starts things off with a bang. That'll bring up Andrew Sexton. Sexton 1 for 3, has a triple, 2 RBIs. As the Pioneers trying to get something started in the bottom half of the inning. So, Sexton going back to work. See what he can do here. He did have that triple earlier in the game. As Geisel coming back set. Mejia over there on first. The windup, the pitch. Sexton pulls back a bunt. 1 ball, no strikes. As again, Sexton waiting on the next pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch cut on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Now as Sexton caught swinging that time, had pulled in the third baseman with the feigned bunt on the first attempt. Now Geisel will go back to work. The wind, the pitch, connected on there by Sexton, but popped up towards the shortstop. That should be an easy one and caught, as that will be the first out of the bottom of the 6th. Sexton goes to 1 for 4, and Brody Moore will come up. Brody 0 for 1 was hit by a pitch and walked in his couple attempts to the plate so far. As again, Brody Moore comes back up to the plate. He's got a runner on first base. That runner, Jeff Mejia, originally slated to be the designated hitter today, has had to play quite a bit of left field as the starter struggled. The pitch low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 man out. As again, Brody stepping in. The windup and the pitch. In there for a ball, 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 count. 1 man out. Runner still standing on first base. Geisel coming back set. He winds and delivers. In there for ball 3. 3-0. 3 straight balls to Brody Moore. Preston Moore standing on deck, 2 for 3 with a double and an RBI on the day. Brody Moore waiting. The windup and the pitch. In there for a strike. 3-1. Moore taking all the way there. Geisel. Right back to work. He comes set. Checks the runner at first. Winds and delivers. Cut on by Brody Moore. And that's strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As again, the Elmira batting order will have to go back to work here. Brody Moore standing in. He waits. The windup here from Geisel. And checks the runner at first for a 4th, 5th, 6th time. And finally the umpire calls time on that. So 6 checks over at first base before finally the umpire calls time. Now Geisel comes back set, checks on the runner, the wind, the pitch, cut on and fouled back by Brody Moore. So another attempt here on the 3-2 count. As once again, Geisel looks in. Stepping up, Brody Moore once again. Geisel has his sign. Mejia waiting. The pitch, cut on, hit out there towards right field. This is coming down, but in foul territory. The catch is made anyway, and that will be the 2nd out of the inning. Brody Moore goes 0 for 2. That'll bring up Preston Moore, 2 for 3 with the double and the RBI. Still has Mejia standing on first base. Sexton and Moore both unable to advance Mejia as Preston steps back in. Preston Moore looking out. Has to contend once again with Geisel on the hill. Geisel looking in. Winds and delivers. In there for strike 1, right down the heart. As Preston Moore trying to keep the inning alive for the Elmira Pioneers. 2-out play has been their strong point here this season. The pitch swung on and missed by Moore. 0-2 the count. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Moore staring out. Geisel comes back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on right down the third base line and just foul of the bag. So no balls, 2 strike count 1 more time. As the Pioneers trying to keep the inning alive here. Moore reaches. Interesting situation as the pitcher spot would come up. Have to see what the Pioneers would do in that situation. Busher had a heck of a top half of the 6th. Allowed a base runner, but still got out of the inning. Preston Moore waits. The wind, the pitch. In there for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As it appears Busher is stretching out with a bat out there so far. So the plan is to have him pitch the top half of the 7th, which, again, just a reminder, this one swung on by Preston Moore right to his third base coach. So just, again, a reminder, in the doubleheader format, both games will go just 7 innings. So, again, could be an interesting dynamic here as Busher is stretching in the on-deck circle. If the pitching spot comes up to bat, you wonder if he would bat. The windup and the pitch. Cut on by Moore, and that will do it for the inning. So, inconsequential, as now Busher will come back out to pitch the top half of the 7th inning. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, fans. Well, apparently I was wrong, as Mason Ruhlman takes his place out there on the pitcher's mound. No stats to read for you. He has not been on the mound this year. Ruhlman has been a, a stalwart in the lineup. His power bat is stuff of legends, but this will be the first time we've seen him throwing the ball instead of hitting the ball. Ruhlman has been pretty much the second baseman until the recent arrival of Brody Moore, which allowed Berg to move back to second base. So, again, Ruhlman goes to the hill here for the top of the 7th. Brainy Rojas leading things off as Ruhlman winds and delivers in there for a strike. So, Ruhlman with the first pitch of the inning gets strike number 1. Ruhlman nods, delivers, cut on, right towards the second baseman, sneaks right by him, and again, that'll roll out to right field. So Rojas goes 1 for 2 on the day. That'll bring up Trey Younger. Younger 1 for 3. As Ruhlman gives up his first hit as a pitcher. As again, the Pioneers here in the final inning of game number 1 trail 9-5. That one bounces up towards home plate. And 1-0 count to start things off here on the second batter Mason Ruhlman facing today. 9-5 ball game here in favor of Geneva. As Ruhlman comes set, he winds and delivers. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. As you have to be curious if this is a move to avoid using more pitchers, knowing you have another game to pitch still. As again, Ruhlman comes set, winds, delivers, fouled off there. 2 balls, 1 strike. As Ruhlman looking back in now, steps on the mound. Younger, 1 for 3 on the day, does have a hit and a base on balls. The wind and pitch, cut on and fouled away again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count as Ruhlman heads back for the hill. Ruhlman stepping on the pitcher's mound. He looks in. Has his sign. Comes set, he winds and delivers. Ruhlman fouled off there. 2 balls, 2 strike count one more time. Pioneers trying to hurry themselves back towards the batter's box. They trail by 4 and have just 3 outs to make it up. So, Ruhlman comes back set. Checks the runner over at first. He winds, delivers, cut on right towards the shortstop, and can't make the play as Brody Moore olays it. And the throw coming back towards second. Berg can handle the throw, and that puts runners at second and third as Ruhlman heads back for the mound. So, some poor fielding there. Possibly a couple errors to be given out. As again, That will bring up Brock Kaufman. Kaufman 1 for 3 on the day here, as Younger moves to 2 for 4. And again, Roman moves back to the stretch. So, Kaufman waiting. Runners at second and third. The pitch, high, 1-0. As Roman trying to work himself out of trouble. Again, we haven't seen him as a pitcher yet this season. This has been a first appearance. The pitch swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still nobody out for the hard-hitting pitcher now standing on the pitcher's mound. That will bring the entire infield in. 1 ball, 1 strike. In there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Roman, in search of his first strikeout of the summer, he looks in, has his sign, winds and deals, cut on, and in between the shortstop and the third baseman. This is going to score 1. The second man coming around, and that's going to score 2 as the hitter will reach second base on the throw home. So Kaufman stands at second. The 2 runners come across to score, and that'll bring up Trevor Rogers with a runner in scoring position again in an 11-5 baseball game. As once again, the Pioneers having trouble with the Geneva Red Wings, and they still have another 7-inning game to complete as they trail 11-5 here in the top of the 7th. The wind, the pitch, in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. As Ruhlman faces Trevor Rogers. Rogers 1 for 3, base on balls, reached on an error, does have an RBI. Pioneers have yet to tally an out here in the top of the 7th. The wind, the pitch, outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. As again, Ruhlman setting up on the mound. Looking in. Checks the runner at second. Winds and delivers. Cut on. Popped up and out towards the right fielder. Garrett Schultz will make the catch. Throw in quickly as he makes the runner hop back to second base. As Schultz had a lot on that one. But Ruhlman has officially pitched a third of an inning now after that fly out from Trevor Rogers. That'll bring up Thursel White. White coming up. He's 1 for 4 on the day. He doubled and hit into a double play and had an RBI. So, White coming up with 1 out. Ruhlman trying to work his way through the top of the 7th here. Throws ball number 1, 1-0. As again, Ruhlman steps back on the mound. Looking in. Checks the runner back at second, and Ruhlman delivers. Cut on and hit out towards the center fielder. Sexton has no problem with that and throws it back in, as that will be 2 outs very quickly. So, Matteo Avallone, who is traditionally a pitcher for the Geneva Red Wings, will step up. He is hitting 1 for 3 on the night, has a base on balls and a strikeout. As see if Ruhlman can pitch a complete inning here. So the windup and the pitch from Ruhlman in there for ball 1, 1-0. 1 balls, no strikes. 2 outs as Ruhlman 1 out away from pitching a complete inning here in the top of the 7th. Ruhlman checks back on the runner at second base, winds and delivers. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs. As again, Ruhlman trying to get out of this inning. He waits, has the sign, and delivers. Swung on, grounded towards the shortstop, picked up there by Brody Moore, throws over to first in time, and Mason Ruhlman has completed an inning of work. And now the Pioneers will go to the bottom half, needing 6 runs. We'll see what they can do when we come back here on Mixlr.com. All right, so Mason Ruhlman heads for the dish as the Pioneers have one more shot to bring themselves back into this game, trailing by 6 runs, 11-5 in favor of the Geneva Red Wings. The windup and the pitch outside 1-0. So the Pioneers will be looking to battle their way back here as Ruhlman trying to be the first man on base. The wind and pitch cut on and grounded up the middle. Ruhlman's going to reach, and that will have him rounding wide on first base. He'll circle back, and he stands on first base as Trey Harmon comes up. Harmon 0 for 3 with a strikeout so far. As once again, the Pioneers trailing by 6. But we can see the Pioneers if they can make their way back. As now the 6th batter in the order, Trey Harmon, stands up. So the pitcher spot reaches is an interesting move to use Mason Ruhlman out on the bump for a pitcher. He does give up 2 runs, both of them unearned as they both scored on the error. As the windup and pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. So Pioneers trailing 11-5. Runner on first. Harmon up at the dish. He waits. The windup and pitch cut on and hit out towards left field. That's going to get down. And the Pioneers already have runners on base on first and second. Harmon erases the offer. Goes 1 for 4 here. As again, Blaisdell looking to be having some trouble here. Berg, who comes up, has a couple of walks on the day and a single. Love to net another single here as Henneman stands on deck. See what Berg can do. Blaisdell looking in. Pioneers trailing by 6. The pitch is in there for a strike. So 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Berg standing in. He looks out. Blaisdell checking the runners at first and second. He winds and delivers. In there for strike 2, right on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. As once again, Pioneers trying to keep the inning alive here in the bottom of the 7th, the final inning of the game. Blaisdell looks in. He comes set, winds and deals, cut on and popped foul. Going to get down out there near the batting cage, out in right field. So that'll bring up Berg yet again, trying to find a way to get on base. First 2 hitters have reached base in Mason Ruhlman and Trey Harmon. Blaisdell set out there. He comes back, set on the mound. Winds and delivers. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here. Pioneers trailing by 6 runs. They could cut the deficit in half if Berg could hit a long ball. Haven't seen him do such as of yet this year. As again, Berg waits on the pitch. Blaisdell winds, delivers inside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We head close. We are now hitting the 4 o'clock hour. Second game scheduled to start in 5 minutes. I'm sure we'll get a little bit of a break between the end of this one and the start of the next. The wind and the pitch cut on. Berg sends it towards the shortstop, who bobbles it, and the Pioneers have the bases loaded, as I believe that one's going to be marked as an error by the shortstop. And again, that will bring up Trevor Henneman. We'll wait to see. It will be marked as an error, so Berg will go 1 for 2, reaching on the error. And Henneman, who's 1 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice. Garrett Schultz will stand on deck as the Pioneers have the bases loaded. Nobody out. Henneman looking out. Blaisdell staring daggers in. The windup and the pitch cut on, and Henneman's going to fly out here as this should be an easy out for the right fielder. And Mason Ruhlman not going to chance it. He will stay on third as Henneman goes 1 for 4 on the day. That will bring up Garrett Schultz. Schultz 1 for 3 on the day. Has the bases locked and loaded as he will face Blaisdell. Blaisdell, 2.76 ERA, has not been touched here today for a run. As Schultz looking out at the pitcher's mound. Blaisdell looks in. Lots of open space out there to the left-hand side of the outfield, as now the center fielder noticing the same. Pitch is high and outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. As Elmira trying to put something together here with the bases loaded, trailing by just 6 runs. Trying to find their way back into it. Top of the lineup coming up next, if Schultz can get on, would be Mejia and Sexton. The windup and the pitch. Cut on by Schultz, driven out there towards center. This should be deep enough to score the run. As in comes the now pitcher. As the Pioneers close the gap to just 5. As Mason Ruhlman comes across to score. Schultz will go 1 for 4 on the sac fly RBI. And that will bring in Jeff Mejia. Mejia, who's 1 for 3, walked, struck out, was caught stealing. Pioneers still trailing by 5. As Mejia stepping back in the batter's box. Blaisdell 1 out away from getting out of this game here. As Mejia waits. The wind, the pitch, cut on by Mejia through the gap, and that should bring the bases back loaded. Thought we were going to see the advance again, but they'll give Andrew Sexton a shot with the bases loaded. As Mejia goes 2 for 4. Sexton 1 for 4, triple, 2 RBIs. See what he can do here. This is going to bring a visit from the from the manager. Is this going to do it on the day for Blaisdell? Be a little surprised just because the Pioneers still trailing by 5. As it appears that will do it on the day for Tim Blaisdell. So, Blaisdell gives up a run. Bases are now loaded. And the Pioneers' number 2 hitter, Andrew Sexton, who's gone 1 for 4 on the day, but does have a triple, will face a brand new pitcher, this time Nolan Meredith from UC Davis. So Meredith, a teammate of Nathan Peng's during the season. So Meredith comes up with 1 out. 2 outs in the inning. Bases are loaded. I had meant 1 out left to get, as now the teammate of Nathan Peng from UC Davis, Nolan Meredith, now pitching. As he will try to get Andrew Sexton. Sexton, at best, could close the gap to 1 if he's able to hit another long ball like he did back on Sunday this week. Well, a week ago today, literally. As would be nice to see that and get the bases cleared out. Give the Pioneers a little momentum heading into game number 2. As once again, Elmira trails 11-6. Sexton standing in the on deck circle as the last warm-up pitch there came up and caught the catcher. Certainly gave him a little bit of a stinger as Matt Birch goes down to check on him. I think he caught it right up around the throat area. So, medical trainer Dr. Emily Canfield heading out from the Pioneers dugout as she's coming to check on the catcher Josh Lester. He appears to be okay, but Dr. Emily's still heading out there to make sure. Wants to check him and just take a look at what's going on. Both managers standing out by the home plate area. As again, Pioneers have the bases loaded. Dr. Emily seems to be satisfied that the catcher's okay. One more warm-up pitch. As now we'll see what Andrew Sexton can do here. Sexton trying to extend the inning a little bit further. Has the bases loaded. Here comes Andrew Sexton to the plate. Once again. Sexton heading into the on-deck circle. Will be the first one to greet Nolan Meredith, the UC Davis pitcher. As now, Sexton waiting. The windup from Davis. Pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. Excuse me. The windup from Meredith, the UC Davis pitcher. Getting too many names bound up in my head as Meredith pitches again, and in there for strike two. No balls, 2 strikes. Pioneers have the bases loaded as Sexton is up 2 strikes, 2 outs, no balls, 5-run deficit for the Elmira Pioneers. The windup and the pitch is bounced up. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sexton looking for something he can do with a pitch and hit it a long way. As the windup and the pitch. Ball 2, another tag-down showdown as the Pioneers trying to keep the inning alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The windup and the pitch cut on by Sexton down the foul line, just foul past the first base coach. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another tag-down showdown right here as again, stepping back in, Sexton. He looks out. Pitcher Meredith winds, delivers. Cut on by Sexton right towards the second baseman. Bounces up, the throw over, and the out is made. So Sexton will go 1 for 5, and that will do it as the Pioneers fall in game number 1, 11-6. So as we head out, we will have a brand new game to start in just a little bit. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixler.com. We want to thank you so much. At the end of the game, Pioneers lose 11-6 to the Geneva Red Wings. We'll be back here in just a little bit to start off game number 2 as we look forward to the second game of a doubleheader here on Mixler.com and YouTube Live. Thank you for joining us. I'm John Clement. We'll talk to you soon.